this session at the end of the last week, up until last week, on investing for sustainable development, economic linkages to the extractive sector. I'm back with you to answer a couple of questions, one question in two parts actually, about economic linkages. And I'll read the questions. The first part is, it would be better to encourage investments in other economic sectors rather than the extractive, as natural resources are volatile and finite. The second part is maybe local content policies focused on enhancing forward and backward linkages to the extractive sector might enforce resource dependency. So the questioner here is actually saying, maybe we should avoid oil and gas, or we should put our efforts somewhere else, and minerals actually, because of these negatives. Well, I think the point that was made in the lectures, in the chapter, is that there are benefits to be had and there's value to be captured. What I will try to do now is to answer these questions in a way that says, how can we do these things, get the value we're trying to secure, while avoiding these issues that the questioner has raised? And let me start by saying any well-designed local content policy is meant to ensure that more of the value generated by activities involved in the life cycle of natural resources, from exploration and extraction to end product use. More of that value is retained by the owners of the resource. That is the objective of these policies. Now, if so desired, they can be designed and implemented to enable investments in other sectors and mitigate the resource dependency. In other words, we can get the objective and still not have the negative impacts that the questioner has raised. For this to happen, however, we do need a very strategic approach to local content, local participation, and value addition. And that requires deep analysis. And that analysis will lead to a policy. Now, what analysis am I talking about? We need to understand the current and likely future state of the sector, especially the nature, the scale, the duration, sustainability of the activities, nature of the resource, how big it is, how much will come out at what rate, for instance, and nature of the marketplace in which this resource will find itself, and its derivatives, its products, and the nature of processing plants, refineries, and so on, and the marketplace for those. So we need to understand that part of the sector along the entire life cycle of the operations, as well as the entire value chain of the product, the commodity, and its derivatives. We also need to understand the state of the country and the communities involved, including the existing human resource base, technological base, business capacity, which may be required to support these industries of oil, gas, and mining. We also need to understand, the state of capacity in other sectors of the economy, especially those that might be impacted by or can be impacted by the operational activities and the availability of skills and services for the extractive sector. In other words, other businesses might have goods and services, individuals who can support the sector and may leave and go to that sector, which could be detrimental to the existing industries. Or the new industries can build capabilities that can support other sectors. So we need to understand how this overlap works. We also need to understand, importantly, what are the aspirations and needs of the country as it seeks to develop itself and seeks to use this resource and its activities and operations in national or community development. From this informed analysis will allow us to create a national participation strategy and a value addition strategy that will first identify the possibilities of the first suite of goods and services required for the sector, the full suite of downstream products or value addition products in terms of processing, operation, shipping, marketing, refining that is involved, and the suite of possible linkages to other sectors. In other words, what goods and services, what activities does the sector need or uses that can support other sectors or can enhance other sectors? And we look at some of those involved, but keep in mind that that capacity ranges of not just skills and services, but also things like equipment. You may have heavy lift equipment, for instance, simple things like scaffolding that is needed in construction, technology, facilities, warehouses, storage tanks, ports, infrastructure like ports, and capital. These sectors generate a lot of capital, which if retained in the local economy can support the local capital markets and support other businesses as well. So that first set of possibilities we need to identify. From that set, we need to identify a subset of those activities that are desirable, those goods and services that are desirable that the country or community wants to go after. Now, this industry is big, it's highly capital intensive, it uses high technology, and every country wants to do everything. So which are the ones we would like to do because they meet our capabilities, our future aspirations, for instance. So you make that second list. Now, from this second list, we have to get very pragmatic and distill out of that those goods and services and those downstream products or downstream participation opportunities that are viable. In other words, have we got the capacity now or into the future? Is that demand sustainable enough that the investment we make today will allow locals to participate, will allow activities to happen locally, like processing and manufacturing from the raw materials that can be sustained? So that third filter, so you move from a list of possibilities to a list of desirables to a list of what is viable. And that strategy allows us to create the policies that says we will go after these viable ones in a comprehensive way, in a way that we can create priorities of what we go after, what we use as building blocks to go further down the road. Yeah. And the policies can target these, and they can target how we build capacity among individuals and businesses, how we enable local participation by private investors alongside the state, and how we ensure the procurement strategies of companies, operators, major international contractors allow for locals to participate. How, for instance, local manufacturers can get access to product or raw material from the major international producers operating in our midst. So policies must address those. Now, in terms of prioritizing, what do we do or when do we do it? The easiest way to go about it is think about what is it that we can do now that the sector allows us to participate in. In other words, what goods and services can we provide to the sector given our existing base? Or what products can we use? So for instance, we have natural gas. From that natural gas, there may be propane that can be extracted. We have a market for LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. Can we use that processing facility, make that available in country to extract that liquid and use locally, for instance? And there's more detail than that. So question to be asked is, what can we provide existing capability? Second question is, what capability can we build with small investments to enhance what we have? So we have extended capability, we can get more value retained in the sector. And the third question is, what demand is there, or what opportunity is there that allows for investment that can be recovered over the duration of the activities or the plants that are built for processing? And build plants, services, skills that are competitive not only domestically but internationally as well. How can we build world-class companies and world-class operations? That's the third one. And then the fourth thing to look at is, how can we, what are those list of viable things? Which are the ones that support other economic sectors? Things like construction, agriculture, for instance. And I'll give examples of what we mean by that. So when we talk about building capacity in the extractive sector, we tend to think about capacity to do specialist goods and services, high technology, unique to this sector. You must remember that these are first and foremost businesses and utilize all the very same support that other businesses need. Human resource management, accounting, finance, project planning, project management, risk management, supply development, relationship management, strategy development, market analysis, leadership, operations excellence, information, communications, and other technologies, data management, business process improvement. Everything you do in any business, oil, gas, and mining companies do. And they do it well. They tend to be world-class companies with world-class business procedures. They have world-class technology and know-how. So how do we get that? Well, practice has shown that the best way to get this transfer of technology, transfer of know-how, is to work alongside and with international best-in-class companies, individuals. And that happens by participation of locals through some kind of mechanism that gives them parity in the way they interact, so that they're not only subservient to the international, but also providing service and learning as you go along. That requires some shared responsibilities, shared accountabilities of the locals for this knowledge transfer to happen. It means they must be able to invest and have skin in the game, as it were. Now, care must be taken not to move capabilities from existing industries, national sectors, so that harm, the least part of the economy, could be harmed. If we don't do that, then of course we run the risk of having the Dutch disease impact. So we can avoid that by using existing training facilities, existing experience to train new players, develop new companies to participate. So we build on what we have rather than draw down on what we have. Of course, it's all well and good to put these into policy, but without a requirement that these recommendations are adhered to through some legislation, regulation, contracts, then, and without an administrator, regulator who is competent and who is held accountable through transparent reporting, there's no guarantee that any of the gains will be achieved or the harm avoided. So it is through this structured approach, and only through this approach, that we can ensure locals participate and compete in a manner that allows countries to retain more of the value of the resources while safeguarding and building other economic sectors. So the question, when asking the question, I would say, yes, we do want to encourage investments in other sectors, but we do have to make use of the resources we have. We need to manage those in a way that we get the most value from it, and not damage other sectors. Yes, experience has shown that there is the opportunity for that damage to happen. It's also shown that managed well, extractive resources can enhance existing sectors and add value to the country and the people of the country. I hope this answers the question well enough, and I thank you very much for your time and attention.